Hello everyone, this is Muhammad Mazharul Haq of ISA Engineering College dealing the control system subject, and today's topic is Nyquist plot. So let us begin now. Nyquist criterion is a frequency response analysis technique. The Nyquist plot or polar plot. The Nyquist plots were invented by Nyquist, who worked at Bell Laboratories, the premier technical organization in the US at that time. The Nyquist plots are a way of showing frequency responses of linear systems. There are several ways of displaying frequency response data, including Bode plots and Nyquist plots. Bode plots use frequency as the horizontal axis and use two separate plots to display the amplitude and phase of the frequency response. Nyquist plots display both amplitude and phase angle on a single plot, using frequency as a parameter in the plot. The Nyquist plot have properties that allow you to see whether a system is stable or unstable. So a Nyquist plot is a polar plot of frequency response function of a linear system. That means a Nyquist plot is a plot of a transfer function g of s with s is equals to j omega. That means you want to plot g of j omega. G of j omega is a complex number for any angular frequency omega, so the plot is a plot of complex numbers. The complex number g of j omega depends upon frequency, so frequency will be a parameter if you plot the imaginary part of g j omega against the real part of g of j omega. Sketch the polar plot of frequency response. To sketch the polar plot of g of j omega for the entire range of frequency omega, that is from 0 to infinity, there are 4 key points that usually need to be known. The start of plot where omega is equal to 0, the end of plot where omega is equal to infinity, where the plot crosses the real axis, that is imaginary axis of g of j omega is equal to 0, and where the plot crosses the imaginary axis, that is real part of g of j omega is equal to 0. Now we will see the polar plot of an integrator circuit. In a circuit, if it is a first order system, that is g of s is equals to 1 by s. Representing g of s in the frequency response form, g of j omega by replacing s is equals to j omega. G of j omega is equals to 1 by j omega, and if you brought the j on the numerator, it is minus j by omega. The magnitude of g of j omega, that is modulus symbol g of j omega, is obtained as g of j omega is equals to 1 by omega. Now the phase of g of j omega denoted by phi is obtained as g of j omega is equals to minus 90 degrees. So the phase is minus 90 degrees and the magnitude is shown here as 1 by omega. Now we draw a polar plot. So the polar plot or Nyquist plot, it is from omega is equals to 1 and minus j is a point somewhere here, it comes to infinity. Omega is equals to 1 to infinity. The starting point and the ending point should be mentioned, that is omega is equals to 1 to omega is equals to infinity. We are having the value minus j. So minus j by j omega in the form of this polar plot is this equation, is this graph, okay? This is imaginary axis, this is the real axis. Now the polar plot of a first order system. So g of s is equals to 1 by 1 plus st, where t is the time constant. Now representing g of s in the frequency response form, g of j omega by replacing s is equals to j omega, g of j omega is equals to 1 by 1 plus j omega t. Now the magnitude of g of j omega, that is g of j omega modulus symbol, is obtained as g of j omega is equals to 1 by square root of 1 plus omega square t square. The phase of g j omega denoted by phi is obtained as the angle, that is minus arc tan omega t. Okay. The start of plot where omega is equals to 0 means modulus of g of j omega is equals to 1 by square root of 1 plus 0, that is equals to 1, and phi is equal to tan inverse 0 by 1, that is equals to 0. The end of plot where omega is equals to infinity, modulus of g of j omega is equals to 1 by square root of 1 plus infinity, that is equal to 0, and phi is equals to tan inverse minus infinity by 1, that is equals to minus 90 degrees. Now the mid part of plot where omega is equals to 1 by t. So we are having this equation where omega is equal to 0, omega is equal to infinity, and omega is equals to 1 by t. Why? Because we are seeing the values here 1 by 1 plus j omega t, where omega is having the values from 0 to t, 1 by t and 1 by t to omega. So 1 by t, the angle is minus 45 degrees, and when at infinity, omega is equal to infinity means the g j omega value is 0, and the g of j omega value is 1, where omega is equal to 0. So we are having 0 angle and value is 1, and minus 90 angle, the value is 0, and minus 45 angle, the value is 1 by root 2 at different values of omega. So we will draw a table like this. Omega is equal to 0, the value of modulus or magnitude is 1, and angle is 0. And omega is equal to 1 by t, the modulus is 1 by root 2, and the angle is minus 45. And omega is equal to infinity, the magnitude is 0, and the angle is minus 90 degrees. Now we are plotting the graph here, the board plot and the polar plot. So the board plot is in this way, and the polar plot is also in this fashion, where we are having magnitude and phases. Now the polar plot, if you want to draw, you will have a value of omega as well as the starting value of omega and the ending value of the omega. Now we will see the omega value is also 1 by t. So we are starting from the real axis here. So the values for real, omega is equal to 0, and the values are imaginary, means omega is equal to 1 by t, and if the values are real, again we are ending at infinity here. So it is coming in the real and imaginary parts. The polar plot is drawn in the real imaginary part, starting from 0 and going through omega is equals to 1 by t and ending at infinity. Now if you see a second order system, 1 by 1 plus st1 into 1 plus st2, where t is the time constant. Now representing g of s in frequency response form, g of j omega, by replacing s is equal to g omega, we write 1 by 1 plus j omega t1 into 1 plus j omega t2. The magnitude of g of j omega, that is g of j omega, is obtained as modulus of g of j omega is equals to 1 by square root of 1 plus omega square t1 square into square root of 1 plus omega square t2 square. The phase of g of j omega denoted by phi is obtained as g of j omega is equals to minus arc tan omega t1 minus arc tan omega t2. Now the start of plot where omega is equal to 0, modulus of g of j omega is equals to 1 by square root of 1 plus 0 into square root of 1 plus 0, that is equals to 1. Now if you see here, modulus of g of j omega is equals to minus tan inverse of 0 minus tan inverse of 0, because both are having 0 values, we get the 0 degrees. Now the end of plot where omega is equals to infinity, modulus of g of j omega is equals to 1 by infinity, that is equal to 0. So g of j omega is equals to minus tan inverse of infinity minus tan inverse of minus infinity. So that gives rise to your minus 180 degrees, and if you see the value of magnitude and angle at omega is equal to 0 and omega is equal to infinity, we get 0 and minus 180 degrees for the angle. So if you draw a polar plot, it will be from omega is equal to 0 to omega is equals to infinity. Now, one more problem, sketch the Nyquist diagram for the system shown in the following figure and then determine the system stability using Nyquist criterion. So if you see here, R of s and C of s are the two functions and E of s is error function. Now, if you see here, the transfer function is 500 by s plus 1 into s plus 3 into s plus 10. Now, the open loop transfer function is g of s into h of s is equals to 500 by s plus 1 into s plus 3 into s plus 10. Now, as usual, for board plot also we have done the same way. The Nyquist plot, putting s is equal to j omega, yields the frequencies g of s into h of s. G of j omega into h of j omega is equals to 500 by j omega plus 1 into j omega plus 3 into j omega plus 10. That is equals to 500 by minus 14 omega square plus 30 plus j into 43 omega minus omega cube. So if you remove the real part 500 aside and do the calculations, the equation A will be produced. From that we write the magnitude response of g of j omega and h of j omega, that is square root of real square plus imaginary square part. So that is equals to 500 by minus 14 omega square plus 30 whole square plus 43 minus omega cube whole square. So all these values you want to find the phase response also. So for the phase response also you have this tan inverse formula. According to this you are finding the tan inverse of imaginary by real part. And now we have the expressions for magnitude and phase of frequency response. Now we can sketch the polar plot using 4 key points. Now what is that? Starting from the start of plot where omega is equal to 0 is g of 0 h of 0 is equals to 500 by root 30 whole square. Its value comes around 16.67 and the angle is 0 degrees. Now end of the plot where omega is equal to infinity is we get 0 value. After that, if you calculate the angle by using the tan inverse formula, tan inverse of infinity by 30 minus 3 into 90 degrees, that is equals to minus 270. Where the plot crosses the real axis, imaginary of j omega is equals to 0. Now taking the imaginary part of equation A, so the equation A has the imaginary part also. So this imaginary part, that is by minus j into 43 omega minus omega cube by 43 omega minus omega cube, we see here the value that where the plot crosses the real axis, it is minus 270. Now taking the imaginary part of equation A and putting equal to 0 to get the value of frequency omega at the intersection of real axis, we get some values like 43 omega minus omega cube is equal to 0. That means omega is equal to infinity and omega is equal to 0 and omega is equal to 6.56 radians per second. We get the two values here. Now coming to point 4, where the plot crosses the imaginary axis. Where the plot crosses the imaginary axis. Real part of g of j omega is equals to 0. So this point should be remembered where the plot crosses the imaginary axis, real part of g of j omega is equal to 0. Now taking the real part of equation A and putting equal to 0 to get the value of frequency omega at the intersection of imaginary axis, we get, after solving this equation, we get minus 14 omega square plus 30 by minus 14 omega square plus 30 square plus 43 minus omega cube whole square is equals to 0. By after solving, the numerator is equal to 0 and omega is equals to infinity. And omega is equals to 1.46 radians per second. As we have two values, 1.46 radians per second as well as omega is equal to infinity. Now we plot the polar that Nyquist diagram by using the key points of polar plot. So key points of polar plot are omega and modulus of GH and angle of GH. So omega is equal to 0 what we got the magnitude in the problem is 16.67 and the angle is 0. At omega is equal to infinity, what we got is 0 and an angle of minus 270 degrees. Now, if you can cross check these values, so if you seeing the above from the figure, this formula, if you are substituting omega to 0, omega is equal to infinity and omega is equal to 6.56 radians per second, we get different values for omega is equal to 0, infinity and 6.56 radians per second. And also for this omega is equal to 0 and omega is equal to infinity and 1.46 radians per second, we get different values of this problem. So the GH value is different for different values of omega. Now we got 0.874 for substituting 6.56 radians per second and we got 8.3 for substituting 1.46 radians per second. And also the angle is minus 180 degrees. If you calculate the angle by using the formula of tan inverse, we got minus 180 and here the angle is minus 90 degrees. Now we plot the Nyquist diagram on the real and imaginary axis by using this formula from omega is equal to 0 to omega is equal to infinity via 6.56 radians per second. So the values are 0.874 here. So if you start the graph here, the arrow is showing the values 16.67 crossing over minus 8.36 and this is making a loop here and minus 0.874 and again 8.36 to the same value, that is 16.67. So it is completing the minus 180 degrees here. So if you are seeing this Nyquist diagram, it clearly indicates from where the omega is starting from 0 to ending at omega is equal to infinity, the final value and the initial values. And in between the values of 0.874 and 8.36 is plotted on the Nyquist diagram. Now one more problem, that is if you are having a polar plot for 10 by s into s plus 1 into s plus 5, now the frequency response will be as g of j omega is equals to 10 by j omega into j omega plus 1 into j omega plus 5. After substituting these values, we get g of j omega is equals to minus 60 omega square minus j of 10 omega into 5 minus omega square by 36 omega power 4 minus 5 omega minus omega cube whole square. Now make it as the equation A. Okay. After substituting these values and getting this equation and naming the equation A, now we will start from omega is equal to 0. At the frequency omega is equal to 0, what we observe, we will be writing there, that is value is infinity and angle is minus 90 degrees. Now to the end of plot where omega is equal to infinity, there also we observe the angles. Now what the values we written in the tabular column are just mentioned like this. So 0 and minus 270, we got the magnitude and phase at omega is equal to infinity as well as at phase that is magnitude omega is equal to 0 and omega is equals to 0 as phase. For these omega is equal to 0 and omega is equal to infinity, we got the different values of magnitude and phases. These are important because the magnitude and phases are extremely essential for plotting the Nyquist diagram. Okay, this formula also should be remembered, like limit v omega tends to infinity 10 by j omega cube, where the j is removed, and limit omega tends to infinity 10 by omega cube. If you solve this equation, anything by infinity is 0. So we get the magnitude as 0 here and magnitude as infinity. Here is magnitude is ranging from 0 to infinity and the angle is ranging from minus 90 to minus 270 degrees. So for this range of minus 90 to minus 270 degrees, you have to plot the graph. Now the third point in the plotting of this graph, where the plot crosses the real axis, is imaginary point of g of j omega is equal to 0. So making that point is equal to 0, equating it to 0 now, we get this equation to solve 10 omega into 5 minus omega square is equal to 0, because the denominator is equal to 0 by sending on the right hand side. So omega square is equal to 5 and omega is equal to root 5 now. So therefore the intersection point between the polar plot and the real axis when omega is equal to root 5 is located at g of j omega at omega is equal to root 5 is equals to minus 1 by 3. So by substituting this value of omega is equal to root 5 at that particular equation, we get minus 1 by 3 value of g of j omega. Now, fourth point and the last point here is we are plotting the where we plot the crosses the imaginary axis, that is real part is g of j omega is equal to 0. When the plot is crossing the imaginary axis, real part will be 0, and when the plot is crossing the real axis, then imaginary part will be 0, as it is understood in the previous points. Take the real part of equation is equals to 0 now, as it is given there. Now, if you are equating it to 0, then omega is equal to infinity. If you substitute the values, then g of j infinity is equal to 0. So, same thing will be make a tabular column. Now, if you make a tabular column for it, omega is equal to 0 and omega is equal to infinity, as we have already written the values in the previous slides, minus 90 and minus 270. Now, the cross of real part omega is equal to root 5 and g of j omega is minus 1 by 3. You got minus 1 by 3 as the value of g of j omega or g of j root 5. So, that minus 1 by 3 can be plotted on the real axis, and that real axis graph is shown in this way, where the point minus 1 by 3 is mentioned. Okay. So, one more thing is, if the power increases, s power 4, sketch the polar plot for following transfer function can also be asked. 1 by s power 4 into s plus v, if it is the equation, or the g into h of s equation, then representing g of s into h of s in the frequency response form, g of j omega into h of j omega, by replacing s equal to g omega, we get here the following equation. This is the following equation where you substitute s is equal to j omega. If you substitute the j omega value, the magnitude and the phase should be calculated at the first step. So, at the first step, you find the magnitude by just square rooting them. After square rooting, you will get omega square plus p square into omega power 4, that is reciprocal of that value, 1 by omega power 4 into square root of omega square plus p square. The phase of g of h of g omega denoted by phi is obtained as angle of g of h at an angle of 0 is minus tan inverse omega by p. This is the calculation of phase. So, we are calculating the magnitude as well as the phase. After calculating the magnitude and phase, the start and end of the polar plot should be known. First one is omega is equal to 0. We get the value of magnitude of g of h into 0, infinity, and end of the plot is omega is equal to infinity. As we substitute here, we get 0. And the angles are ranging from 0 to minus 90. So, if an angle is ranging from 0 to minus 90, then you can plot the graph here. It is the starting value and the ending value are from infinity and as well as 0 here. So, the plot will be in this fashion, increasing and decreasing order, that is phi is equal to 0, you will be having increasing order where omega is equal to infinity, and again coming back to the phi is equal to 0 degrees. Okay. So, it is touching the minus 90 part also. Why? Because we have got the phase as minus 90 also, we have to mention here minus 90, and the 0 means again the 0 axis will be touched like this. So, we are drawing the polar plot here, as 180 values, 1 degrees is not mentioned, or we didn't get the value. So, we are not crossing this left hand side axis. Now, evaluation of complex functions via vectors. So, if this is the point given, f of s is equal to s plus 1 by s into s plus 2. Now, the problem is graphically depicted here in the figure 8.3 via vectors. Like if a vector is a point, s plus 1, s plus 2 and s are plotted on this particular s-plane graph. And if you are plotting this particular in the s-plane graph, the vector originating at origin is making phi at an angle 126 degrees 0.9. Okay, if we are pointing it to a scale. Now, the vector originating at 0 at minus 1 is 20 at an angle 116.6. The similar way, the other pole at minus 2, root of 17 at an angle of 104.0. Now, substituting these values, what we get is, we get the magnitude and angle, that is 0.217 at an angle of minus 114.3 degrees. As a result, for evaluating f of s at a point of minus 3 plus j4. Now, if you write this f of s is equal to s plus 2 into s plus 4, by s into s plus 3 into s plus 6, finding the f of s at point s is equal to minus 7 plus j9, the following ways are get. Now directly substituting the point into f of s and calculating the result using vectors. If you directly substitute, this value is around 0.096, an angle of minus 110 degrees. And the arrangement of vector will be as the vector is mentioned at this point S, and we are plotting the poles for that transfer function. As shown, the transfer function is there. In this transfer function, we are having minus 2, minus 4, s is equal to 0, minus 3 and minus 6. That we are plotting here. And after plotting this one, we get the values. By direct substitution, we get 0.096 at an angle of minus 110.7 degrees. Now we will discuss the 4 important points for derivation of Nyquist criteria. The relationship between the poles of 1 plus g of s into h of s and poles of g of s into h of s. The relationship between zeros of 1 plus g of s into h of s and the poles of closed loop transfer function t of s. The concept of mapping points and the concept of mapping counters. Now letting this one, if you have this g of s value as n suffix g by d suffix g, numerator by denominator, like that, we get here t of s transfer function in the form of n g dh by d suffix g d suffix h plus n suffix g into n suffix h. Now it can conclude that the poles of 1 plus g of s into h of s are same as the poles of g of s into h of s in the open loop system. And the zeros of 1 plus g of s into h of s are same as the poles of the t of s in the closed loop system. So this is a difference. We can conclude that 1 plus g of s into h of s are same as the poles of g of s into h of s, and 1 plus g of s into h of s are same as the poles of t of s in the closed loop system. The concept of mapping is also important. Now, for example, s is equal to 4 plus j3 is a function that is having s square plus 2s plus 1, and it yields 16.3 j0 or 16 plus j30 equation of complex form. We say that 4 plus j3 maps into 16 plus j30 to the function s square plus 2s plus 1. So this is the mapping of counter, that is the collection of points called counter here. That is, you can say mapping counter A through function f of s to counter B by these equations. By this graph you can show how they are mapping, the equations are mapping. If you are counter mapping, we assume the clockwise direction for mapping the points on counter A, and the counter B maps a clockwise direction in f of s like this. All these are nothing but the poles which are mapping by the equations. So here r is equal to v, and here f of s is equal to s minus z1, this equation. F of s is equal to 1 by s minus p1, for this is the equation where poles are there, and here zeros are there. Because mentioned here it is 0, so zeros will be on this right hand side, and if the poles are on the right hand side, then you can plot like this. Okay. Then the counter B maps in a counterclockwise direction if f of s has just poles that are encircled by the counter. Like from these diagrams you can see all the 4 counters that are counter mapping that are done based on the equations. Now coming to the Nyquist stability criteria, a linear closed loop continuous control system is absolutely stable. Because we are talking about the stability, by this Nyquist stability criteria, we discuss this point essentially. A linear closed loop continuous control system is absolutely stable if the roots of the characteristic equation have negative real parts. Equivalently, the poles of the closed loop transfer function or the zeros of the denominator 1 plus g into h of s of a closed loop transfer function must lie in the left half plane. The Nyquist stability criteria establishes the number of zeros of 1 plus g into h of s in the right half plane from the Nyquist plot of g into h of s. So the Nyquist stability criteria, the closed loop control system whose open loop transfer function is gh is stable if and only if n is equal to minus p naught, which is less than 0. If you remember this point in a closed loop control system whose open loop transfer function is gh is stable if and only if n is equals to minus p naught, which is less than 0 or less than or equal to 0. So n is equal to total number of encirclements of minus 1 comma 0, and if n is greater than 0, the number of zeros z0 of 1 plus gh in the continuous system is z0 is equals to n plus p naught. If you are plotting the polar plot for this transfer function, we will be having the value of modulus of g of h j omega is 1 by omega into square root of omega square plus 1, and angle is minus 90 minus tan inverse omega by 1. So here the polar plot, if you see, it is for omega is equal to 0, it is infinity. At omega is equal to infinity, it is 0. But if you see the angles, it is minus 90 as well as minus 180 degrees. If you are plotting from omega is equal to 0 and ending at omega is equal to infinity, minus 90 to minus 180. So where does minus 90 come here? Minus 90 is from this real axis, minus 90. This is 90 and this is minus 90. So it starts from here and ends at omega is equal to infinity. So the graph will be plotted in this segment. So this is the Nyquist plot and this is the diagram. So diagram, in the Nyquist diagram you can see that g of h function, a real part of g of h function is having the points d dash, e dash and f dash and a dash, I dash and j dash here. Like we are having the Nyquist plot, we can plot the polar plot and also draw the Nyquist diagram if it is asked. Where we are having minus 90 and also we are having minus 180. So it is covering both minus 90 as well as minus 180 degrees. So the Nyquist plot at that point 0 should be mentioned clearly here. So here also d dash is mentioned. So d dash, from starting with d dash, it is coming to the j dash here, again covering the a dash and coming back to e dash, f dash and creating the real axis. The region of the right of the counter has been shaded. If you see this one, the region is shaded here. Clearly the minus 1, 0 point is not a shaded region. Therefore it is not enclosed by the counter. So n value is not less than or equal to 0. The poles of g into h of s are at s equal to 0 and s is equal to minus 1. Neither of which are in right hand plane. Hence p naught is equal to 0. Thus n is equal to minus p naught, that is equal to 0. And the system is absolutely stable if the value this point is not coming into this region. The similar way, 1 by s into s minus 1, if you are having the function, then you are indicating that s is equal, n is equal, not equal to p naught. That indicates that the system is unstable. System is unstable. Why? Because it is coming into this area. Okay. So I would like to end my class here, students. In the next class, we will discuss about the coming topic. Thank you.